Hello, everyone. Who is here with me now? I just started the session 3 minutes before 12. Hey, Juho. Hey, Tommy. Welcome to the session. Hey, Sari. Hello, Sinika. Yasu Vasili. So let me know in the chat below, do you hear me? Is it loud and clear? This is the first time I'm using a Demio. Yes, we can. Thank you, Sari. Great. Thank you, Sinika. So hopefully it was easy for you to log in. Was it? Yes, it was. Great. It was as you were already waiting and online. Yes. Great. Let's wait for a few minutes. A few more people should be joining. I have at least 38 registered participants for today. Hello, Tommy. What are you wondering about first? Okay. Could it be there? To be honest with you, I don't know how it looks from the participants side. Could it be down below in the screen? As I said, it's the first time I'm using Demio. So how can the others help? Sari and Sinika, is there a way for you to unmute yourself, and then is there a mic that you can use and say a couple of words if you wish, or is that not possible? All right, Sari says right of Chryssa and settings wheel. Yes, they are the settings for the camera and the microphone. Can participants say a few words as well? Do you have that possibility? Can you try to do that? Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. 12 people are now in this session. Welcome to my class. It's nice to be teacher again. So it's 12 o'clock. I believe some more people will be joining. Let's get started, though. We have you here. Thank you for coming. I have a couple of questions in a couple of polls that I made. So let me share them with you now. So my first question, you'll see the poll, I believe, in your right-hand screen side. Have you attended the first webinar? Yes or no? Let me see your votes in your answers. Yes, yes, yes. 7 answers for yes. And eight, let me see. 93% of you have responded. Please put your answer there in this little poll. Hopefully you can find it. It should be on your right-hand side. Not everybody has responded yet. Yet the majority says that, yes, I've attended the first session. So thank you for attending again. Hopefully, obviously, it triggered you to come again and listen more. So for the rest of the people, the newcomers, thank you for joining. I will have a recap in the beginning so you can catch up. And if you're registered before in the first session, but you didn't attend, probably you got the replay as well. So don't worry, we'll take you through the journey from the beginning. So now my second question in the poll is, have you studied event management? It could be event management, culture production, project management. So let me know in the answers below. Have you attended or have you studied event management? Project management, arts management, culture production, at any level? Is it university level, University of Applied Sciences, maybe some other courses, open university studies? So let me know what is your background regarding studying event management. So so far, 71% of you have responded. Please put your answers in the little poll for the newcomers. It's probably on the right-hand side. There is a poll with 2 answers. Yes, I have studied event management, or no, I haven't. So click on your answer. Almost a tie, but there so far, yeah, the majority of the people, 60% now, says no, I haven't studied event management. But obviously you're interested in it. Maybe you found your way working for an event venue, or find your way organizing events, so you have the experience. Let me make a third poll quickly because it ties up with that. So do you have experience in event management? So even though you haven't studied yet, you are experienced, so you are a practitioner, so you learned on the job. So third poll, do you have experience in event management from practice? Yes or no? Great. Very good. So the previous results are that 63% does not have a study background, an educational background in event management, whereas 38% does. Out of these participants here, we needed 20 people. And regarding the practitioners' experience in event management, the majority, 100% actually, at least from the answers, it's 76% of the audience have. So that's great. Exactly what I thought. It's good to know who's in the audience. Great. So this is I have other questions coming up. For instance, the question that you see there on the slide. But let me continue so we can start the session. Let me know if you can see my shared screen, please. So as I said, this is the first time I'm using this solution. Yes, we can. Thank you, Sari. Tommy, you said you need to give them your permission to use your microphone and camera. You mean from my participants, or? I must check this. Yes. So as I said, this is the first time, and my colleague Jonas can help me with that. Feel free to write in the comments though if there is something in your mind. So let us start today. Here we are. So the Power of Event Success Management Webinar 2. This is the day today. Thank you for joining. And this is what we're covering today. I asked you a couple of questions to get to know you better. I'll briefly introduce myself for the newcomers. And then we go through some inspiration, what we covered so fast in the previous session. And then we go to the fundamentals of event success management. This is core stuff, and the event success methodology. So welcome again, everybody. I'm Chryssa Skodra. I'm a Greek living in Finland for the past 17 years. I came here as an exchange student back in 2005, and my background is in communication and media. I'm a journalist, and I have been studying project management, international project management. I worked for EU-funded project as a project planner, and then after 2 years in Rovaniemi, I came down to Helsinki, and I have a master's degree from Sibelius Academy, my alma mater, in arts management, culture production, and event management. I have been teaching in Haaga-Helia after I graduated from my master's degree for nearly 10 years. At Haaga-Helia, I've been teaching event management, project management, marketing, and a lot of other communication-related topics. And I've been working as a blogger and a content creator for big brands, Fujitsu, for instance, Forum Shopping Center, and a number of other fashion brands. And yes, now in Lyyti, I'm in the world's first ever event success manager. I started working for Lyyti, Finnish company, leading event success platform for the past 2 months. So this is what we cover today, and I still have that one question that I would like you to write in the comments if you have well-defined phases of event planning and management in your organization. We'll discuss this a bit later on, but think about it as we go through, and when you have the answer in your head, please write it down in the chat. I will read your answers. Let's recap a little bit for the newcomers. Last time in the first webinar of this series, which I like to call as a mini course on event success management, available publicly for everybody, we talked about the evolution and transformation that is happening in our society and in technology and all realms of our existence. So this is the evolution from Web 1.0 to 3.0. And we spoke about the experience economy, that is all about time well spent. And in the event industry, we're staging experience at the 4th level there. And we are hopefully aiming towards offering transformative and powerful and meaningful encounters to our attendees. Then we spoke about what COVID has changed in our reality and our understanding. So we spoke about this lost gut feeling. As I'm speaking to this digital wall. Of course, I make sure to enable your microphones if that's possible. Last time it would have been possible in Google Meet. I tried to ask a few people to open their mics, but there weren't many volunteers. Hopefully, as we get to know each other, I'd love to hear you. And if you feel comfortable, open your mic and say a couple of words as well, or questions. I understand if you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to have your lunch and listen at the same time. That's fine. Maybe you don't feel that you're looking fire or your home is neat. And I know, I've been there. I have exactly the same thoughts. And this is how we've been the past 2 years, taking this online meetings, where our home becomes the working place, the entertainment place, and everything. So we spoke about last time the attention span of the online event participants and all this Zoom and Teams and Demio's fatigue and all that. And we concluded that time is money, the old adage and saying is right, aika on raha. And the event participants' time is our event currency for people to dedicate their precious time away from their family, their loved ones, their favorite hobby, and other activities, or even work, because work can pile up in order to attend their event. So it is event currency, and this is what's the most precious and valuable commodity. It's the time. So then we spoke about the multiple ways and metrics and key KPIs to measure success of events. So obviously, as practitioners, you all know this is probably, and many more could be things that you measure, or your management tells you to measure, or you have with your team agreed to measure, and so on. But then I also said, and speaking with customers and other people in the industry, maybe the consensus is that when we aim for the stars, maybe we land nowhere, or when we try to aim at measuring everything, we learn nothing. And this would lead us up today nicely to what event success management is and the fundamentals. And last, we talk about the amount of visible events at the tip of the iceberg versus the amount of invisible events, what lies under the surface. So we all are participants of a lot of internal events, a lot of meetings, and a lot of other encounters, and the events perhaps that our customers see, perhaps the more publicly sales and marketing events are more visible, but then there are a lot of other events that are being organized on a daily basis. So this is the recap of what has been discussed last time. Saya says good process descriptions and implementation. Yes, I'm in the chat, nothing else so far. So now this is the part where we are continuing on today's topic and the inspiration and what I want you to keep, because last time the inspiration was about change. The change is the only constant. And today's inspiration and food for thought is innovation happens at the intersections. And it's not, when I was teaching marketing at my previous workplace, I did talk a lot about the brain, and I'm very interested in psychology and cognitive processes and so on. But it's beyond the left and right hemispheres. It's where creativity actually takes place everywhere, and everything is interconnected, and there's a lot of intersections and a lot of complex mechanisms happening. But it's a very nice visual to see that that the innovation happens in the intersections, and we'll be opening this up with what event success management is. So let's walk through the fundamentals. By definition, we identified and described that event success management is a lean and effective management approach to ensure that every single event is more successful than the previous one. And the word lean, so what is a lean and effective way and approach? So if we look at the lean methodology that comes from the software and the engineering world, there are three simple ideas where we have the delivering value from the customer's perspective, eliminating waste, which means that we don't bring forward things that don't bring value to the end product, and third, continuous improvement. So I want you to look at event success management as the intersection between traditional event management and agile thinking. So here is the graph. So at one hand, we have traditional event management, all the fundamentals, everything we learned, all of you who have studied event management, and how I've been teaching my students as well, from all the leading authors and thought leaders in the industry and everything that's written in the books. So with one hand, this is event management, very important, useful understanding and foundations. And then on the other hand, we have the agile methodology and the intersection. This is what I said in the inspiration. The innovation comes when different fields and disciplines and fields of knowledge are meeting. This is where the magic begins. And there we have at the center event success management. I'm not an agile coach. I don't have big expertise in agile methodology, but there are specific lessons that can be taken from the agile methodology that has its origin in the software industry. Yet many industries are switching to agile methods. So from the agile methodology, I want you to keep the last bullet points, what the assets for event professionals could be. So better transparency to our events, better flexibility, and better learning. So that's the continuous development. So when we are combining lessons learned from the agile methodology into traditional event management, we have event success management. So here are the two tables where you see the differences. On the one hand, we have traditional event management that treats events as single units, whereas event success management treats events as comparable units in a continuum of progression, of continuous learning and development. And we have, on the one hand, the traditional event management side focus on planning and management events, very event-centric, if you like, versus on the other hand side, the event success management, where we have the focus on the participant experience. Because as we identified before, the participant's time is event currency. That's the biggest expense at events, the time that our participants spend to come to our events. That's the biggest resources. On the traditional event side, events are seen as a tradition and they are done out of routine. We have to do this event. Our management wants us to do X amount of events, so this is how we've always been doing. And then on the event success management, it's the continuous improvement and doing better and better events all the time. On the one hand side, we have the traditional physical events, which are very important, right? I'm personally big advocate, and also so does Lyyti, big advocates of the face-to-face physical live events, whereas in event success management, the emphasis is not only on those, which are very important, but also in a hybrid and virtual, so online and hybrid as well. And then on the traditional side, we have a group of event organizers within companies, perhaps doing their own thing or having certain events under their responsibilities. Whereas on the event success management side, we have an event success manager and an event success team that ensure that the organization is having a company event portfolio, event success portfolio of events with specific reasons why we do these events, how to make them better, and they have that approach to make all events of the organization cohesive, that there's a red thread connecting all of those with the business goals as well in mind, and mainly the participant experience that we believe that brings also value and feeds that business goals as well. And so the event success manager and the event success team are responsible for that. Every event throughout the organization are done with the continuous improvement in mind. So these are the 5 elements of the fundamentals of the event success management. So we'll open them one by one. At number 1, we have the focus. So from a very event-centric focus, now we're moving to the participant-centric focus and the experience, and especially how that can be improved. The definition of an event in event success management. So it's an event. Event is a set of meaningful encounters that is planned, organized, measured, analyzed, and shared. It takes place online, off-site, or in a hybrid format and in a certain time frame. An event could be a temporal one-off phenomenon or a repeated occurrence. Third, comparability. So events with event success management are comparable, with the focus being on the participant. And we will come to that in the next webinar, how we make events comparable. And as you see, the second bullet point there, the second line says that the second that is to be achieved with the experience of value score by measuring our events with the with EVS, the metric developed by Lyyti and used by hundreds and thousands of Lyyti customers. We can compare events and see from their perspective, was our events worth and worthy of their time? Was there a value? And only they can assess how their time is well spent or not. And number 4, we have the continuous improvement. And this is where the agile methodology and the agile thinking comes into place, how to create events better than the previous ones, how to utilize the event's experience value score results in the dashboard into making the next event bigger and better. And last, as we said in the comparing those tables, the event success team and the event success manager are the event organization committee or team. Now, let me see in the comments. Nobody has written anything yet. I asked you to think about the ways you in your organization are have defined processes for event planning. So please write in the comments, what is the processes that you have defined in your organization? Do you have any, for instance, from the planning or design and planning? How do you have you named those processes somehow? Let me know in the comments below if you have processes defining the stages of event planning and management. There's no right and wrong answer. Things can be mentioned in different ways with different synonyms, whether it's the design phase or the planning phase, or what language you use, what terms. Maybe you came up with your own terms, what makes sense. So let me know if you have any ideas and you would like to share, or what language you're using. So I will show you now in the event success methodology, and we'll go through the event cycle, and you will see the terms we are using and what terms are being used in event success management. So first we have the planning phase, right? So I show you this, so please write to me in the chat your ways of calling the phases and the stages of event planning and management. So we plan we identify what is our target audience here, who do we want to attract, what budget do we have, what venue, what content, defining the structure. Then at the second stage, we start organizing our event. And then at the third stage, a very important stage, we start measuring. And at Lyyti, we have developed the experience value score, and we use it to all our events ourselves. And so our customers, right after the event, participants can very quickly give one metric, the experience value score, as well as open feedback below. Probably the ones who've seen the first webinar, attended it, and you gotten by email immediately after the webinar, and so will happen now at 12:30. You get the experience value score. So the feedback from the participant experience. And then at number 4, the fourth stage, the analysis phase, where We are organizing a retrospective meeting where with the event manager and the event success manager and the event success team, and in your case with your event organizing teams, and going through what went well, what could have gone and been better, what do we need to change in order to succeed next time. And there in the retrospective meeting, so phases 3 and 4 are very important and often are neglected or not done adequately. Then we analyze the EVS results and feedback. Then we see what number have we gotten? How is our EVS score? Is it according to the benchmark of our organization? Do we score lower than the average of our organization? And also, Lyty's EVS dashboard in the product shows the EVS benchmark globally. Then you see where do we belong with, how did our event score compared to the global benchmark based on the other thousands of customers who use it for their events. And last but not least, another very important phase, sharing. So knowledge sharing and documenting and taking the action points to make the next event more and more successful. So this is now the very important graph I want you to remember after this webinar. What is event success methodology and why it works? As you see below with the continuum of time in the horizontal axis, we have the traditional event management. You do events here and there. Perhaps they're not measured. Some are measured, some are not. The lessons from one event are not taken to the next one. So the progression looks a little bit like a loose worm, as you see there below how to describe it. However, with event success management, you have each event has its own event cycle, the one we just analyzed before, right? So event 1 has its own event success cycle. Then we have the next event and the second. They have their own cycles. They all go through the same process, and very important, measuring, analyzing, sharing this, because usually planning and organizing is something that all event organizers do. We do it out of routine. We know, we have our contact list, we have our budget, we go out and do it. We can pick up a phone and get the good catering and so on. But to do the measuring, the analysis, and the sharing continuously and constantly, that takes us like cogs in a wheel, right? So as the cogs are turning, the wheels are turning. So these are the cogs. Each event is a cog that makes the wheel turning and turning and turning. So event success management works because it focuses on improving the participant experience through this consistent learning cycles. Event 1 learning cycle, event 2 learning cycle, and so on. So this is what I wanted to share today with you. Thank you for your time. I hope it was worth it. I'll check now the chat if you have written anything. So please be in contact with me if you'd like to hear more about event success management. Invite me to come to your company. I'd love to meet you in person. Send me an email, call me if you have questions. So let me see. There's some answers. Great. Florence is saying no particular process, but a checklist. Write me, Florence, what checklist you have. Indeed, Valerie says we have a process before, in process, and after for our events. How do you measure, Valerie, after? Tell me, please, in the comments. Saya says planning and ideation, organize, final call, event, measure, and after sales. Saya, tell me about the measuring, please, metrics. And then Tommy says idea, planning, organizing, event, tap on back. Okay. All right. That's good. Like that? Is the tap on the back like that? Good. Great. Thank you all for, let me know if I have time, I'm here. Let me know if you have any questions now. If not, feel free, as I said, to email me, call me. invite me to come to your organization. I'd love to meet you in person if I'm welcome. I'm based in Espoo, Finland. If not, then if you have no other questions, yeah, have a nice day to you. And greetings from sunny Espoo and sunny Finland to all of us, of you international people as well. So I say measuring NPS, return investment, brand evaluation, and some similar as EVS. Okay, great. Thank you and have a nice day, Anya, and to everybody joining this session. Thank you, everybody, for attending. See you next time, Mondays at 12, okay? All right. Thank you. Bye.